Shit. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. What the fuck? Let's close that. Open that. I was trying to see us. Okay. As a sort of a general rule, if I can see myself on YouTube, we're good. I couldn't see myself. It's freaked me out for a second. By the way, I think this is an audience appropriate way to start the show. Other than a little bit of war, what is it good for? Holy shit, has it become more powerful a song the closer we get to getting dragged into another fucking war? I want to point out in 1996, Benjamin Netanyahu testified before Congress trying to get the United States to invade Iraq. Just want to point that out. And then we didn't. And what happened? 9/11. And now here we are, 2025. Uh, U.S. military assets are being moved in effort to support Israel. And the reason the Democrats are silent on this is because 100 elected Democrats take money from AIPAC and they're bound to, by silence. Largely on this, what you'll see are um, Democrats hand waving any questions about them taking money from AIPAC and their silence as the U.S. moves assets in position to support Israel in their illegal war, where they have instigated uh, contact with Iran. Just want to make sure. Kara in the comment section said, "Good morning. Local 7 is official on strike in Colorado. The main grocery store is Safeway. Union strong. Good for them exercising their first fundamental First Amendment right." So remember what is fundamental about your ability to form a union um, is a fundamental First Amendment right. Remember, it's the right to speech, assemble, and petition. Is that what it is? Speech, assembly, and petition. Hmm. And freedom of association. and recognized by U.S. courts as a fundamental right. Mhm. Yeah, freedom, speech, and petition. So it's not, hey, it's not just about freedom of speech. Remember, while we're talking about it, freedom of speech does not mean free from consequence. It just means that you can say fuck the president and you're allowed to do that. So fuck Donald Trump. I'm allowed to say that. Hmm. And the government can't react. Notice how Donald Trump, did you notice one of the first people that he ordered kidnapped and trafficked to a foreign country was a female that was very outspoken against him, and then Khalil Mahmood, another person who is very outspoken against Donald Trump. Hmm. Jared remembers. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me, where did I get the information that Netanyahu said New York City would be targeted if they don't help Israel defeat Iran. And here's the link to him saying it. I'm going to put that in our Discord so that I can remember to post that back in the comment. And I know it's not direct. I know it's not direct. That's not the point. Do you think he would just sit there and say, like, if they don't help us, we're going to fucking kill them? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What up, Crush? You get that dude's number? Um, I'll put it like this. So I'm just giving you shit. That was the dude yesterday that was like, "Yo, you're smoking hot." Yeah, there's a dude in the comment section yesterday. He maybe he like left and didn't see it, but he was like, "Yo, Crush is hot. Like, what's up, girl?" Like, yeah. Oh, he's a creep. Oh, never mind. No. Ooh, God, sorry. Yeah, I agree. None of us want this. We certainly deserve better. That's for sure. It feels like history repeats itself. You know, your real wackos in here sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Clapper is something else. Every time I open Clapper, I see a video that just is striking. This shit is wild over there. Yeah, yeah. Clapper is straight up unhinged. Yeah, she said this app is insane. I'm on here for you. Hey, I try not to give it too much time. I try not to doom scroll anymore or like just over consume anymore. But the only thing I try to do is like play video games, play with my dogs. By the way, you know what has me really sad today? I'll tell you. So I walk the dogs every morning. And most of the time I wear a hoodie. Okay. Most of the year you can wear a hoodie and not sweat. It's just there's the rules. Okay. And I think it has that's your niche, Zeke. You need to start making Latino progressive comedy on Clapper, dude. Clapper and TikTok. Hmm. Be the Latino, be the be the one that says what I say, but in Spanish. Mhm. See his right hand super inflamed. No, are we talking about Donald Trump? First video saw is everyone will feel it. Mm, 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 mm. I'm the 19th. You stop it. Do we share a birthday? Are we birthday buddies, Crush? Yo, audience. Y'all know Crush, right? We're birthday buddies. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I know, it's pretty dope. Anyway, I was sad today because my, what I do with my dogs are very disciplined animals. Like I don't beat on my dogs, but like my dogs are very good on a leash. Okay. Um, and what I work them on is if they pull me, we go back at the house. Like once you start dragging me around the fucking yard, I'm done. And what I do is I'm trying to get, it's like a science experiment. I'm trying to see when is it gonna be fucking hot? When can I sort of gauge that based on walking the fucking dogs and not letting them lead me? I want my dog to walk beside me, not drag me the fuck around. And I'm not even leaving my yard if my dogs are dragging me around. So what I do is I make like a outline of my property, and when I get to the corner where it's like if you're being fucking good, we'll keep going. But if you're dragging me, by the time we get to the point, I'm gonna stop, turn around, let's go back home. Try again this evening, right? So it's for the record, it's not like they're not getting a couple shots at it a day, and it's not that they're not getting better at walking on a leash. My boys fucking know if I stay on his fucking hip, we get to keep going. And so my boy dogs are brushing up against my side. I don't even have to hold the leash, right? My German Shepherd has that shit figured out. She knows to stay right by my side and not test the lead. But Pam, she's trying to literally it's like she's climbing up a hill. She looks like Hercules. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't I'm going with you. I'm right here. You don't have to drag me. Okay? And so today everybody got a longer walk except for Pam because she was trying to fucking drag me. And one of the reasons that I try not to run her is because I'm trying to figure out when is it gonna be fucking hot. And I started to notice um, in the last few days, so a few days in a row, of breaking a sweat just walking the dogs, 2, 3 minutes each, um, and not running them. And it got me to thinking about it's just gonna be really fucking hot this summer. I always think about how there isn't enough, or apparently isn't enough to go around, and it's gonna be really hot. Yeah, I know it's sad. It's just it's the harsh reality of climate change. That's the thing that that always bothered me is like how come no one's ever openly fucking sad because they're like, man, it's gonna be really hot out. people are gonna suffer. It makes me sad. It's just like people don't care. There are people all over the world. I would venture to say if you don't die of heart disease, you die of heat related injuries. And keep in mind, did you know this? Crush said on Clapper that she saw a report today that 13 million people showed up to protest. That's awesome. Hiya! Morning. You know what I was, I'm fucking crazy. When I was a little kid, there was this Nintendo game called G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor on Nintendo. Anyway, super old reference. Um, yeah, it was a super niche game. My parents made stupid money, and so when everyone else was still forced to play outside, my flags are off. No, they're not off. They're held up by one nail, shit show. You want to talk about a shit show? That is a shit show right there. There were three nails. Those were all covered and aligned. Okay? Uh, the dogs were roughhousing one day in in this doorway, and two of the nails fell out. So there's only a nail in the Pacers one. The other two are just sitting there comfortably. Uh-huh. I know, it's like one of those things. Like, how long is that gonna last? Years. Years. It's actually been doing that for a long time. Yep. I know it'll fuck up your OCD. Yep. hmm Oh, you probably haven't seen that yet. This, what people are talking about. Ugh. Ugh. You see them? That's for YouTube. You see them? Okay. And the protests are gonna continue to grow. I know it's fabulous, right? Um, Mhm. Mm, 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 mm. Yo, last night, I gotta tell you, chat. I'm sorry the world's on fire. We're gonna spend some time lamenting on our situation. Um, I don't know, I was like, what is WT? Um, mm, 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 mm. Hey, yeah, I said it was very cathartic talking with like-minded people on Saturday. Oh, what I was gonna tell you. So last night, yesterday, I was having and close to 8 o'clock last night, I get a call and it's a six-figure deal. Okay. This just means that if you close it, if I close it, I make like $1,500. You know what I mean? That's for a deal. Um, for the record, I'm one of those people, I love to spoil stories that I'm telling so that if you have to go, you already know the end. Okay. I sold it worst fucking conversation I've ever had in my life. That dude was a prick until his fucking wife got on the phone. And she was a fucking very smart woman, just a fucking sharp lady. And he softened up and he had refused to give me a bunch of information. It's just you, Angie. He had refused to give me a bunch of information. I don't, it doesn't show me that I have no sound. There's only a couple. Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta back out and get back in. Back out and get back in. Back out and get back in. No, back out and get back in. I wouldn't mute it. I don't have the ability to do that. I'm just sitting here. I'm not pushing buttons or nothing. I promise. And I've got a sound bar in front of me where I can see the little sound bar going every time I talk. Back out and come back. Stop. Hey, think about this, audience. When you can't hear me, don't think it's me. Think it's you first. Know that I'm sitting still and I'm not touching a computer. So why would the volume just go out and I can see the sound bar in front of me? If that thing stops moving, then I know it's on my end. Chill, y'all. Just back out and come back. It's the way YouTube works. It shits out on me too. Y'all ain't figured that out yet? If you watch a few videos on YouTube after like the third or fourth video, the sound fucking cuts out. Yeah, it sucks. YouTube's trash. DeCarlin said, please talk louder. Nice joke. There are 22 people in here. There's like 25 people watching. It's a classroom of people. Hey, remember, no matter what, the world is on fire. Get 8 hours of sleep a night. Take a fucking nap. Yeah. Hiya. This dude was being a fucking asshole until his fucking wife got on the line. Are you wearing headphones, Debs? Maybe you've got wireless earbuds and the battery's dead. Or or it's playing through a wireless headset that you usually use. Yeah. You can imagine when someone gets on here and says Israel was founded in 1948 by David Ben-Gurion when he was the head of the Jewish Agency with the purpose of mimicking the United States imperialist expansionist behaviors except in the Middle East. And by and large, it had been held in check because there are powers in the Middle East. There's money in the Middle East. There are nuclear weapon holders and developers in the Middle East. Again, if you're thinking militarily, you need an ally in the Middle East, and Israel looked like that for a while. But if you ask yourself at what point going back to 1948 did you stop being pro-Israel? Because again, one of the things that I want to make sure that I say early and fucking often, we didn't call ourselves Democrats or Republicans, and I don't remember anyone. You might have muted my channel. Okay. So, yeah, remember that if you can't hear me, I'm not moving, I'm not touching a keyboard, I'm not doing none of that shit. So if you can't hear me, you got to think it's you first because I would be able to tell. I'm not moving and I can see a little sound bar. Okay. Anyway, so no, Kay Heron, it is you. You need to back out and come back. You can imagine when somebody says, "Hey, Israel was founded in 1948. They've been terrorizing the fucking Middle East using the same. Basically, they're the testing ground for what they teach the military. I don't know that I've ever told anyone this story, but it's relevant. So how about this for wild? While I was on active duty, the deployment that I went on aboard the USS Bataan as part of the 26 MEU, that I got held back from and had to come back and get surgery and then got medically separated after RJ died. Um, that 26 MEU trained with the IDF. And my buddy told me like they're far too brutal and far too like homicidal. Mm. So they reflect their leadership. So think about that. Isn't that crazy? Like if I had gone on that deployment, what would have happened as part of that deployment is we trained with the IDF. And the Marines shot with them and fought with them and learned as much as they could from them. But that's how they train. Hmm. Police and SWAT and feds and are all taught the most brutal, most harmful. Mhm. I mean, it's just true. It sucks. It sucks because people are like, I don't want anyone to feel like unsafe, but the harsh reality is like Israel's no ally. Far too. I mean, this 20 years ago. This 20 years ago, training with Israeli special forces, and the motherfuckers were crazy. Like I said, one of the things that Israel will be known for is being very cruel, and that cruelty making its way to the United States. Hmm. 20 fucking years ago, guys were saying like, man, just be glad you're not Israeli. And because don't you have to join the military? Service is compulsory in Israel. Compulsory for Jews and Druze, for Circassian men. 32 months for men, 24 months for women. Compulsory reserve duty to the age of 40. It seems an awful lot like a lot of people are going to die because of a handful of people's decisions. Yep. I met a very proud Israeli while I was on active duty. Pretty girl, clearly Persian, meaning she's not Israeli. And she was super cocky. And you'd think that'd be a good breeder for a fucking Marine, right? But again, and this was 20 fucking years ago. I Her dad said they were from Iraq, and she claimed to be Israeli. And she's a big bitch, so you know that she could beat up other women that challenge her. And she's actually big enough. She's a pretty big lady. She'd give a fucking man trouble. So I ran away from that, like the brainiac I am. But I've only, like I said, I've only ever met one person that claimed to be Israeli, and that was over 20 years ago on active duty. Hmm. Yep. She's very pretty. Hmm. Hmm. She's a good time, but you get a little too much liquor in her, and she's denouncing some shit I had never heard of. You know, because you got to understand. How do I say this so like other adults understand? I was like devoutly religious, and that took up a significant portion of my free time until I left my parents' house. And then that shit all of a sudden didn't mean anything, and I started looking around at other shit that was going on in the world. Carlin said, I've greatly resented Netanyahu for a long time. My resentment grows, Carlin, as I open my eyes, as I look around, as I learn about the man, as I listen to the man speak, as I learned yesterday. I mean, you got to understand, 1996 is 25 years ago. I was 15. So I don't want to excuse being a fucking child, but in 1996, Benjamin Netanyahu appeared before Congress and testified trying to get the United States in war with Iraq. What happened? 5 years later, 9/11. Benjamin Netanyahu said if Tel Aviv falls, then New York City will be attacked. Yeah, I was gonna say, President No Wars, everybody. Yeah, I learned that yesterday. It's not like I just came here with it. Uh-huh. The reality is the power structures are buckling. Look, I'm a fucking anarchist. There are way more of us than there are of them. Download the Five Calls app. Contact your representatives and senators and tell them that you do not want war. You do not want to get involved with the war with Iran. The destabilization of their nuclear development program is the plot line to Top Gun Maverick. Stop fucking with me, Donald Trump. Crush said, why do these evil fuckheads live so long? I like it to think it's the drugs because there isn't another good answer. Because I think like you get old and your heart wants to stop, like going the other way. And if you do drugs and you raise your heart rate, even though your heart rate's you're trying to die, but like you do enough blow and it'll keep the fucking heart beating, I guess. You throw enough grease in there for McDonald's and the fucking heart will work, you know? 8 senators trying to forward a bill to keep us out. Yep. And remember, basically what Democrats are relying on is stonewalling Donald Trump and his agenda until midterms, and then holding him accountable once they're back in power. But really, you gotta thing that you gotta know in your head is that this administration's fucking worthless. They have passed 5 pieces of legislation. We're still on 5. Hmm? Oh, by the way, did you see Donald Trump signed a treaty with the UK yesterday and all the pages were blank? Yeah, but here's the thing. People keep saying that, but here's somebody taking great personal risk, okay? Going and speaking in public and saying, "Hey, I got contacted to help ICE. They're offering $1,000 to $1,500 per person." So understand. Ninja brain injury. You dropped on the floor, yeah. Yeah. He was cooking an egg in a frying pan. Hey, and make sure that we have the correct perspective about the military arresting a protester. Okay? Lock the fuck in. The person that they arrested, not a protester. Two, the person they arrested entered into a cordoned off area with US military personnel with weapons walking the fuck around, and they yelled stop, and he didn't do that because he had a headset in. So they waved him down and made him get on the ground. What are you running for? And he was like, he complied, and they handcuffed him, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "My bad, I had headphones in. What's going on?" And his version of the story was they detained me for a few minutes and asked me some questions and let me go. I still made it to class. So and 25-year-old Army veteran, by the way, not a protester. Stop making it seem like the US military arrested a protester. That's facetious. That is not what happened. If you're gonna tell a story, tell the truth, right? The truth is that they disobeyed the command. Because something you got to know about the US military. Donald Trump cannot turn the military against the people. So they won't ever be given real rounds and they'll never be allowed to shoot Americans. It'll never happen in a million years. He can send the Marines anywhere. He can activate the National Guard. But what happens when you federalize the National Guard is they become part of the U.S. military, and the president doesn't have any control over the U.S. military. It's not how it works. The U.S. military is more powerful than the president. Hmm? So that's why he activated and federalized them and demanded they go to LA, and like 300 showed up. Hmm? With no real rounds. Same thing with the Marines. Same thing with the Marines. No real rounds. One person detained by the U.S. Marines who were guarding a federal building when a 25-year-old ran through a cordoned off area and it ignored his initial command. He was detained for a few minutes and questioned and let go. And he gave his own version of the story. Here's the President of the United States being very diplomatic. As a Marine veteran, how do you feel about Marines in this position? It's the saddest shit ever. Nothing to be proud of. I'm more pissed at the active duty army personnel that cheered and waved to Donald Trump and were like excited and are like, this is my president. I'm more pissed at that shit than them sending Marines to LA. The president's allowed to do that, right? Mm. He can send Marines to guard federal buildings, but he can't put rounds in their guns. Can't make them engage Americans. It's not what thing don't work like that. That's the thing about people that serve in the military and people that don't serve in the military. Okay? Is that people that don't serve, oh, you'll stab someone in the back in a fucking heartbeat. You turncoat and ass motherfuckers. You two-faced bitch. On active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry, poor leadership will get you shot in the back. Being a fucking Debbie Downer gets you shot in the back. But otherwise, yeah. So understand, I tried to explain it because people are like, oh my God, the fact that nobody is saying it's a legal order. No, 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 no. It's not illegal for him to send Marines to guard federal buildings. And once he federalizes the National Guard, they become part of the U.S. military. He has no control, no power. He has no power here. Yep. Yep. If your orders are less than 30 days, you also don't get paid. So think about feeling like a sucker and a loser when you did what you were told to do. Donald Trump's your favorite and you don't get paid because your orders aren't for 30 days. You just get regular pay. hmm it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate for the people that join the military that are like ASVAB waivers that this is their president. hmm Yeah, just remember, uh, you can be below the minimum threshold for a test score, and as long as physically you can do a job, you could be in the military. So understand, in my eyes, able-bodied people, people that don't have vision problems, hearing problems, ain't nothing wrong with you, and you didn't serve, and you didn't give your body to your country in some manner. Like Bob, for example. Bob was a fireman, right? Where's Bob at? What the fuck, Bob? Remember, and all of us are going to suffer because a handful of men won't take accountability for their actions. Vladimir Putin, Benjamin Netanyahu, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Peter Thiel, David Sachs, JD Vance, Russ Vought, bunch of unfuckable white men. hmm Stephen Miller. By the way, Elon Musk is basically done for. His consolation prize is Stephen Miller's wife, who actually life got better for her. hmm Because at least the racist she's with now has money. And yep, agree, Carlin. Bob BB needs to take it. Yeah, BB will end up tried by the Hague. So crazy. I'm willing to play with this thingy. Hey, listen, Crush, I will throw up on you, lady. We may be birthday buddies. But yeah. time to if you haven't already, it's time to start um developing that 1,000 yard stare. And I don't say it often enough, but when you think about hitting someone or something, remember to punch through your target when you finally raise your fist. And every day I'm reminded that something doesn't happen to any of these motherfucking people. Is all that it takes for evil to win is for good men to do nothing. See you, Crush. Everybody tell Crush have a great day. Jesus Christ. See, this is the problem with Israel engaging Iran, sorry, is it, Iran is a bigger country. You got more money and shit. So the U.S. has told allies it will not. Hey, Zeke said, "Have a great day, Crush." U.S. tells allies it won't join war unless Iran targets Americans. So look for a false flag attack on Americans. Okay. I mean, here's the IDF bragging about killing. Angie said by Crush. Yeah, said I quoted Edmund Burke yesterday. No is evil. Yeah. And hey, remember, hey, big ass protest. We're happy and shit. Hey, keep protesting. If anything, intensify your protest, boycott, and strike. Join a union. Okay? Make it fucking happen. You don't have crushes on Clapper. She had to go to work. Okay? Join a union. Working America's free to fucking join. Okay? Oh, ba, 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 ba. And this regime has decided that they want regime change in Iran. Okay? Creating yet another. Oh, here's a interesting article from NPR. Yeah, yeah, she is here sometimes. She usually tries to make sure she's in whatever app. There's a petition on change.org to make No Kings a federal holiday. I'm fucking for it. The world's most visited museum shuts down with staff sounding the alarm on mass tourism. Oh. No. So I do what I'm told. I am I'm not a quiet quitter, but I'm the person that you really aren't gonna get a lot of jumping through hoops out of me. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. I'm gonna question it. I'm gonna give you a little side eye, but I'm gonna do what you fucking told me to do. So one of the things that I was always told is when they're an asshole, jam it. Meaning, so if somebody's rude, read the fucking script. So this dude, like up front, was like, "Can't you just see all the information?" Yeah, I'm trying to confirm that it's accurate. When we were going over his credit cards, and I was like, "I'm just trying to confirm this balance." He's like, "I have all of that information, and now I know that you have all of that information. Why are we going over this? I'm trying to give you business." And I was just like, "You may have used the card. You never know when you actually submitted for information. We call you immediately." And he's like, "I submitted for it today." Perfect. You understand I'm reading something to you that I'm required to read. And he's like, "I just don't know why we're having this conversation about the Louvre, Cece, the Louvre, babe." So we're having this conversation. He's refusing to give me information and just being very flippant. And I just put them fucking blinders on and I'm just like reading the fucking script, bitch. And the thing about it was is that he was initially calling in for a HELOC. I don't do HELOC, but I have the nut story that will dry up a HELOC. So when he's anybody says a loan, I'm how much you looking for? Oh, I'm just looking to cover my debt consolidation, you idiot. That's what you put in information for debt consolidation. You got $50,000 in debt. Oh, son, I had $50,000 in debt when you were still in your daddy's nutsack. I got $150,000. And I'm like, that it's not a fucking race. You're not trying to see how much fucking unsecured debt you can rack up. Yeah, cease. So what happens when a whole big ass country becomes an undesirable place to live and tour? People go to places that are still desirable, like the fucking Louvre, and they experience like an influx of traffic to the point where they can't keep up with the traffic and they got to shut the fucking museum down and cross their arms and say, there's got to be a lot of places, other places that people will need to fucking see. This is what happens when no one wants to come to the United States, right? See, yeah. And you know what fucking sucks? I really is a pretty country. I really do like the United States. We got a lot of pretty sights. I've traveled around the United States. I love the United States. I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, I've been to the islands, I've been to other continents, been to Europe, been to Southeast Asia, been all over the world. Okay. The only places I haven't been are like the Black Sea, fucking Russia, and I haven't been to China and haven't been to North Korea. It really is the United States really is pretty. It's a shame climate change is about to fuck us. So I just want to make sure, hey, y'all stay up on the weather. I know I sound like a old fucking man. I know I sound like an old fucking man. It's an awful lot like 2012 in this bitch. And if you understand that movie reference, hmm that's what my dad said. That's what my dad said. Within like 3 years of coming home from the Marine Corps, I'd been to like 28 countries, and he was asking me like, "You ever seen the Black Sea?" And I was just like, "No." And he was just like, "It's fucking breathtaking. Like you gotta go." hmm Yeah, so fortunately I did that shit. Been around the world and I. Oh, and I want to make sure I say it before it all falls down. Fucking New York City is the cleanest fucking big thing you'll ever be in your life. Really is. Washington, D.C. used to be fucking beautiful. Every blade of grass was in perfect position. hmm Yeah, I hope they cancel or move the Olympics. I hope they cancel and move all that shit. You know it's gonna get hot this summer. Motherfuckers are gonna go crazy. You know it's exactly what's gonna happen. It's gonna get hot. I'd rather see somewhere else host it. We should all sign this petition to make No King's Day a federal holiday. Only got 47 lame. She said the US is a beautiful city. Hey, you know what's funny about that, Cease, is you think you wrote the wrong thing, but it's fucking true. All the city, what's a beautiful city? Charlotte. Charlotte is fucking beautiful. You know what else is really pretty? Fucking Atlanta. The south side of Atlanta with those little rolling hills and shit. Um, you know what's really pretty? Miami's pretty. Tampa's a pretty city. I loved Houston. I liked it when I was in Houston. Obviously Dallas. Dallas is just so spread the fuck out though. It's like it just it just keeps going forever. It's like an infinite spread. Yeah. That's why I was sad today, Cease, when I got on today. Yeah, Charlotte's amazing. It's hot though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. International Parks. They want to yeah, they want to sell off all our fucking land and shit. Yeah. So make sure you get out and enjoy all those places while you can. Um, anyway, so I gotta finish this story. So this guy was super cold and flippant and to the point of being argumentative. But he said pretty early, like, I'm trying to give you business. So in my head, I'm like, ride or die, bitch. Like, we're on this fucking phone call. If I gotta be on here till 9 fucking 30, so be it, motherfucker. And so, like, we're going through this whole script. You should have heard him flip over like a fucking turtle and just be the sweetest fucking man once his wife got on the phone and she was talking about keeping a card and shit. Oh, they got $150,000 in debt and they want to hold on to a credit card. Whatever. And so I'm going through the motions. He had refused to give me all of the information on the accounts, so I didn't have the last four numbers for any of the cards because he fucking refused to give the information to me. So she's like, card ending, and I'm like, that's not gonna work. Hubby didn't want to give me that information. And he goes, "Let me get that for you, Jared." And I was just like, "Dick." Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, he was not compliant. He was being very difficult until his fucking wife got on the phone and he fucking turtled. And they kept a card. It ended up being like $100,000 deal. But the best part about this was my boss's boss was listening to my call. So I had a massive fucking deal, six figs, in which my client gave me absolutely nothing. Not only did we win, that's a $1,500 fucking deal for your boy. That's some people's fucking rent I made in one deal for 90 minutes of my life. And my fucking boss's boss messaged me. That guy was a dick. Victory is sweet. Score one for the fucking good guys. Dude, because I get in there every day and just fucking. I mean, the thing about it is, I don't have to talk shit. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. The boy's on top. I'm in the highest ranking and routing. I haven't even been here 6 months, Patty. In the highest ranking and routing. Yesterday I closed $2,500. Not $2,500. 175,000. I think I have to close like 175,000, 150, 60, and I get paid in excess of 1%. I don't know what it is. I'd stop. You see, my problem is, you know what happened? I stopped once you get to certain levels of income, you stop counting. I've had jobs where I made less than like $1,000 every 2 weeks. I've had jobs in the last decade since I graduated from college. The first time I started out at like $14 an hour. That quickly ballooned because I showed to be useful. And then for 5 years, I worked zero hourly wage, uh, commission only, helping people get ADT home security systems installed. When I left that job, I was fourth all time in installs, and I didn't leave the building. I wasn't a technician. I worked in sales. And then I got an opportunity to run my own business and develop my own business. COVID hit right about the time I got my shit together. And a lot of people, a lot of my friends have brought it up recently, like not reviving the dream, but the dream's not dead. So when you see me wearing Bizarre Grind, or you see Bizarre Grind, know that that's about as capitalist as I get. Is I want to be around like-minded people so much that I built a business around my hobbies, like coffee and games. And I wanted to add multiple lines of revenue, but I didn't want to have to create them myself. So what I thought about doing was making a bazaar, which we don't really have in the United States, but think of a bazaar as like a very small farmer's market. Let's say you come into my business and you know that I have the best coffee, okay? I have that Gold Coast shit, right? You come into my business, you know I have the best coffee, but you know, for example, and I'm just using it as an example, in Indianapolis we have Long's Bakery, okay? It's a Long's Donuts, okay? Well, we already know they make the best donuts. So what would be in my best interest as a coffee shop owner is to get some donuts from Long's to pair with my coffee, and that's adding a line of revenue, And what you could convince, by the way, you could convince Longs to do is send an employee with the donuts to shill their donuts. And that way I don't even have to pay for the donuts. You can just sell them. And what it does is it keeps people in your business because holy shit, the best donuts in town, the best coffee in town, right? And that's bizarre. It's bizarre. You got probably have two different ways to take in money at that point, right? Well, what goes with coffee and donuts? Paperbacks, books. So I did grew up on comic books, but what's unfortunate, what's unfortunate is that my mom didn't understand the value of an individual book. She didn't see the point. Zeke said if there was a lefty socialist business near me, I'd be in there so fast. So by the way, Zeke, you say that, I have to tell you this fucking secret. Oh, I have the money for that now. So, uh, Zeke, Zeke, Zeke. Again, the thing about it is I'm not a capitalist in that you do things because they make money. I just want to make sure that everybody understands like if I make something or if I build a business or if I make an object or I design something, it isn't with the goal of making money. Just want to make that very clear. It's the overall improvement of society, right? By the way, Starlink is fucking trash. Should leave nursing. Go to what you're doing, Jared. Angie, let me tell you about my day. Okay. So I live on the East Coast, so my shift doesn't start until noon. I work noon to 9. Okay. My days off are Sunday and Tuesday. For the record, I'm an NFL fan and I go to fucking games and watch the games. And Tuesday's the worst day for sales. Perfect. Okay. I work 40 hours a week. I don't work overtime. You can work 2 hours of overtime a day without asking for permission. So you could come in an hour early, you could stay an hour late every day. Get you 10 hours of OT min a week without having to ask for permission. Okay? You can ask for permission to work additional fucking overtime. They'll give it to you. Yep. As long as they know in advance. Yep. They pay a base pay. So I get paid $15 an hour. Yeah, if you don't sell shit, you don't get paid. But the minimum on a deal is $100. It takes about an hour to enroll. All you gotta do is read a script. There's a rebuttal sheet. It's interactive. You can control F. You get to work from home. My dogs are only in the kennel to fucking eat. I'm gonna upload a picture to the Discord today of what my check is supposed to look like on Thursday. Talk about like benefits, all that other shit, whatever. Whatever. When you pay me 5 figures in bonus a month, you can pay me a couple grand just to be here. hmm Good money, yeah. hmm One of my colleagues made $700,000 last year working from home without working overtime. $700,000 working from home, helping people stop paying their fucking credit cards. Yeah, if you're actually gonna do it, you got to be competitive. You got to actually make it. You can't be no quitter. I mean, they're already talking about making me management and just like, yeah, it's a work from home. It's a work from home job. Mhm. Look at my face. Do I look like I belong in public? Come on. I have a face for radio. Why? Uh, yeah, yeah. And I'm like kicking ass. And I'm not, I have no desire to be management. Mm-mm. I love when people feel like they need to, though. It's cute. Boys are cute when they feel like they need to lead. And I'm like, aw, look at you trying. Deb said, "You have a nice face." I know. Being self-deprecating. Yeah, I wouldn't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, Angie. Nope. Nothing's worth your sanity. Most of the people that I work with came from like high-profile jobs, and for the record, most of them wash out. Hmm. You know what I noticed? You know who makes it? Black people. Because they're used to being fucking disrespected by people and it not shaking them and it not shaking their confidence and them just fighting through it and succeeding to kind of despite the conditions. I noticed them fucking white boys that talk a lot of shit don't make it. And it's by the way, every fucking job I've ever had. There's me, and I'm going to crush. Don't you worry about me, baby girl. I will be here every day like a pain in your ass. Okay? Um, but I noticed all the hot to trot white boys that were like super narcissistic washed the fuck out. Hmm. Hmm. Can't handle the swings. Most people can't handle the swings, man. And I'm not. I'm one of them. I'm one of 'em. I will use my fucking PTO if I'm not winning. Oh, I ain't working. I ain't working. Like what was that? Friday? I took a fucking half day because by lunch, so halfway through my shift, I was 0 for 1, meaning I'd had one attempt at a sale in 4 fucking hours. That's trash. I'm on the highest routing. And then I had two other calls where the person told me they weren't interested right away and disconnected. Those don't count against me. And I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'll take PTO, bitch. Yeah, cease he was. He was kicked out of the summit meeting. I posted the video earlier. Are you not clicking on my links again? Let's see. When's the next protest? Search for more events. Remember, 25 miles, 50 miles. No look there's any confirmed events in Indiana. Stacy said, "Of course Donald Trump was kicked out of that summit yesterday. His goddamn diaper was making everybody gag." Angie said, "The Hague is calling you, Donnie boy." Proud Boys meeting July 5th, Owensboro, Kentucky. Anybody down there trying to get froggy? At the gates of the White House, Refuse Fascism announces next major protest July 1st through the 4th. I'm willing to bet you the other end has halitosis. Mm. Yo, all these ugly motherfuckers have made me self-conscious. Yes, Angie, I saw it. That fucking tuba or that French horn right in his fucking face too. Womp, 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 womp. You might not know this, ladies, but your boy was a trombone player. Hmm. Your boy was in the brass. Could read music, all that shit. Oh yeah. But I was an athlete. I was a two sport all state athlete. Played football and wrestling. And y'all really missed it. I peaked in high school as an athlete. I was throwing big motherfuckers around like rag dolls because the guy below me was a dickhead. And so he would fucking bully everybody and it'd piss me off so goddamn bad that I'd go out there and this dude's like 50 pounds bigger than me and I'm just like, God damn it. You're dead. I'm just letting you know. You need to let all your fucking teammates know it's gonna be a long ride home. And then that big clobberin fucking idiot whiff end up on his face, then on his back, and me just standing there like, let's go home. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Army's malicious compliance was delicious. Those were officers and NCOs. Those weren't fucking green soldiers. So I thought the Army would send in a bunch of privates and shit. First of all, the only people that went to that protest were sympathizers, and the amount that they asked for versus the amount that they got tells you everything you need to know. Tells you everything that you need to know. The officers refused to march their soldiers and instead route step. Just walk. It's harder to do that. It is a sign of disrespect when you pass the president and don't stand at the position of attention and salute him and fucking face left. Uh, command hot face left. Yeah, they didn't do that shit. They didn't do that shit. There wasn't anybody beside them going left, right, left. There wasn't none of that. There wasn't none of that shit. The officers weren't like a high ranking person would usually walk next to a formation and call cadence like I was just doing, but better. It would be hot. Like you want to know the hottest shit ever? Ladies, you want moist panties? Uh, Marine Corps cadence. Hey, every now and then they make a snappy tune. You know what I mean? Marine Corps cadence. And it's not all good. It's not all good. But every now and then you get somebody that can fucking sing, that can fucking wail. Be still my heart. I'm telling you, when you hear somebody that can actually fucking get at it, see if I can find you one. Yeah, you want moist pennies? It's just a joke. This is delayed cadence. It's fucking great. It's not, hey, it's not all award-winning shit. Okay? Not all award-winning shit. Here you go. Yeah, when motherfuckers can really sing. The heels is fucking tight. I think I just showed this someone over and over. Again, you don't have to like it. It's not for everybody. That's the whole fucking thing about the Marine Corps. Is you don't have to like it. But if you know what it's for, then you know that every Marine knows how to march. So I'm willing to bet you every one of them people that you saw in that parade, they know how to march. They didn't have anyone calling cadence. They were in fucking route step. They didn't stop, face left, face the President of the United States, and fucking salute. They just kept walking. That's malicious compliance. I hope that, ladies, for the record, I hope you don't feel disrespected. I was just trying to be funny. With saying like you want moist panties, here's some Marine Corps cadence. It's not for everyone. Not everybody's gonna get their rocks off to that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna hear that and think, oh, that's sweet music, right? But here, listen to a little bit of Eat the Rich. It's- and by the way, the best the best cadence comes from the army. Just just to close on that. Like I shit on the fucking army a lot. Dude, I served with people who were NCOs in the army that had done an enlistment, okay? Left the army, gave up all their rank, went back through Marine Corps boot camp and back through the Marine Corps rank system in the infantry. You know why? Because the army wasn't out there getting it. They were war fighting, but they weren't preparing like they were going to fight in a war. And I had a sergeant while I was on active duty that could fucking sing cadence. Mhm. Their shit blow you away. Blow you away. Oh, here's in Samoan. And keep in mind this is Marines, but this is Samoan. Gas the fuck up, son. And then it gotta leave you with Full Metal Jacket shit. A little Arlie Army. PT, good for you. Good for me. Good. Run all day till the run is done. Uh, play Mafia 3. That's my advice. Play Mafia 3. be the good guy for once. Have a good rest of your day. Right. No, I get you. Well, I mean, he wasn't safe. Remember, we talked about we didn't think he was safe. I remember a few days before he was inaugurated, he barricaded himself. And one of the things that we learned was that after election day, Mar-a-Lago's teaming with fucking Russian nationals. Remember, Vladimir Putin helped Donald Trump win this election. He owes them. Have a good day.